Hello, leaders of tomorrow. Back at it again with another video, and today we're going to talk about standard deduction versus itemized deduction. What is the difference, and which one is better? Okay. Um, so the first thing we're going to go through is what is standard deduction, because it's actually the standard bearing concept of the video, and we want to understand what is standard deduction before we can understand itemized deduction and how it works. So I'm going to create a couple of scenarios so that we can have a basis to understand standard deduction. So let's say you're working a job, right, and you're making $50,000, a $50,000 salary. And let's say because of the $50,000 salary, you're in a certain bracket, tax bracket, let's say a 22% tax bracket, and you pay about $5,000 in federal tax, right? Let's say you pay $5,000 in federal tax throughout the year. Your paycheck every 2 weeks or every month, whatever interval you get paid, you're paying the federal tax. You pay $5,000 for the total year off of a $50,000 salary. Now, what the standard deduction does is that it takes your salary that you got paid and it brings it down to a certain point to where you may go into a different tax bracket, which then will trigger a refund. So when we talk about this year, 2024, the standard deduction is actually $14,600. So if we made a salary of $50,000 and we applied the standard deduction, our salary would go down to $35,000 and $35,400, which will put us in a lower tax bracket, which will then trigger a larger refund, because now our salary is not based on the $50,000 that we made, but on the $35,000, which is applied after the standard deduction. You understand? So now, even though you made $50,000 on paper in your salary, because of the standard deduction, it's like you really made $35,000. So the government then says, okay, since you pay taxes based on the $50,000, and we're saying that now your salary is $35,400, we're going to give you a refund back, because you no longer should be taxed on the $50,000. You should be really taxed on the $35,000. This is what the standard deduction does. So what does the itemized deduction do? It basically states that, okay, IRS, I actually had more qualified deductions than the standard deduction. The standard deduction is not enough, and I need to claim more deductions, such as, let's say, state, local, property tax, certain work-related expenses. It goes over the $14,600 that the IRS gives us. So that's what itemized deduction is. Itemized deduction is allowing you to go over the standard deduction, which will result in either a higher refund or a lower bill that you may owe if you are to owe money, right? So the itemized deduction does allow you to get more money or lower your bill much more than if you just did the standard deduction. So that is the benefit. But the downside to itemized deduction is that you can end up being audited by the IRS. Your chances of being audited is higher than if you were just to use the standard deduction, because the standard deduction is what the IRS gives you automatically. So then now, if you have an itemized deduction of, say, $35,000, which is like about almost $15,000 more than the standard deduction, the IRS or the state government may want to look into that and say, well, why are you claiming such a high itemized deduction well over the standard deduction? we want to see receipts, we want to see proof. This is where your proof would need to come in, and your paperwork would need to come in to show that you actually had these deductions, and also these deductions must be accepted by the IRS. Not all write-offs are accepted by the IRS. They have to be actually accepted by the IRS to be claimed. So which one is better? It all depends on your situation. Honestly, itemized deductions will bring you back more of a refund, or it will lower your tax bill a lot further, but the chances of being audited is higher. So most people go with the standard deduction. However, if you can prove the deductions and deductions are accepted by the IRS, I will go with itemized deduction than, say, standard deduction. Anyway, I hope that explanation helped in understanding standard deduction versus itemized deduction. I do have my contact in the description if you want some more information, or if you just want to talk about tax, need help filing your tax. My contact is in the description below. Again, guys, have a great day. I will be delivering more information to you. Hope to see you soon.